So big week for someone who covered Capitol Hill and is now covering the White House. Look, I think the president's red lines are inaction and are anything that would raise taxes on people making less than $400,000 a year. Those are not areas where he is going to move.
While working on President Joe Biden's new infrastructure package, lawmakers in Congress are also trying to pass multiple different bills that could possibly give you more stimulus money. In addition, folks, more and more companies like McDonald's and Chipotle are raising their minimum wage to help keep their workers. Folks, this is your fourth stimulus check update and news report. In this video, we will be discussing the latest news surrounding a fourth stimulus payment, and of course, a $200 increase in your Social Security benefits. So everybody, just be sure to stay until the end of this video. So several important Republicans criticized President Biden and his policies. The House Republican Conference chairwoman told reporters that we're experiencing multiple crises with President Biden and Speaker Nancy Pelosi. We have an economic crisis that Republicans are going to fight for on behalf of American families. Everybody, who do you think is holding back our stimulus check? Is it the Republicans or the Democrats? Let me know in the comments below. Everybody, here's what you have to know about the new tax credit. The child tax credit is worth $2,000 per dependent under age 16. It begins to phase out if your AGI is above $400,000 on a joint return, or over $200,000 on a single or head of household return. Once your AGI surpasses $400,000 or $200,000, the credit amount is reduced by $50 for each $1,000. Everybody, up to $1,400 of the child tax credit is refundable for some lower income individuals with dependents. But you must also have at least $2,500 of earned income to get a refund. And thanks to the American Rescue Plan, the 2021 credit is increased to $3,000 per dependent. For many families, the credit is also refundable for 2021. In addition, everybody, the IRS will pay half of this year's credit in advance by sending monthly payments to families from July to December of this year. Now, the new American Families Plan, if enacted, would generally extend the 2021 child tax credit enhancements all the way to 2025. There would be one important difference. The new plan will make the credit fully refundable on a permanent basis. Now, for the earned income tax credit, it provides an incentive for people to work. And under the American Rescue Plan, more workers without qualifying children will qualify for the credit on the 2021 tax return, and the childless EITC amounts will be much higher. For 2020 tax returns, the maximum earned income tax credit ranges from $538 to around $7,000 depending on your income and how many children you have. However, there are no income limits for the credit. For example, if you have no children, your 2020 earned income, your 2020 earned income and AGI must each be less than $15,820 for singles and $21,710 for joint filers. If you have 3 more children and are married though, your 2020 earned income and AGI can be as high as $57,000. In addition, folks, the American Rescue Plan expanded the 2021 EITC for childless workers in a few ways. First, it generally lowers the minimum age from 25 to 19. It also eliminates the maximum age limit at 65 years old, so older people without qualifying children can qualify and claim the credit as well. The maximum credit available for childless workers is also increased from $543 to around $1,500 for the 2021 tax year. Now, Biden has previously voiced support for the PRO Act, which aims to overhaul the nation's labor laws. It would stifle penalties for employers who violate workers' rights and strengthen protections for employees against retaliation, among other provisions. So folks, that is all the news in this video. If any of you guys found this video useful and helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications, and give this video a like.
Structure. The President spent the last 10 days making very clear his view on the merits of the corporate tax increase, and the White House has rejected user fees as paid for. Bless you, Chris. The Republicans have made clear the 2017 tax law is a non-starter and are proposing user fees to pay for it. I don't understand what the deal space is here when their pay-fors are considered non-starters by you guys and your pay-fors are considered non-starters by theirs.
Well, this is a big week ahead, Phil. So big week for someone who covered Capitol Hill and is now covering the White House. Look, I think the president's red lines are inaction and are anything that would raise taxes on people making less than $400,000 a year. Those are not areas where he is going to move. He is quite open, as is evidenced by the fact that he invited Senator Capito and a group of members to meet with him in the White House later this week. He's very open to having a discussion about where we can find agreement, where we can move forward. And he has been encouraged by the spirit in which Senator Capito and other Republican colleagues are engaging with him. And he's hopeful that the meeting will be constructive. Now, you're right, and what you touched on, which is an interesting piece of this, is that the disagreement is really about the pay-fors. There is agreement about the need to modernize our infrastructure, about the need to do more to create jobs in the economy, and he's looking forward to hearing what additional ideas they may have.
One more quick one. I understand where you guys and the Fed are, that inflation right now is transitory if it pops,
Yeah.
to the degree that it does. You know, the jobs report kind of was a reminder that we don't necessarily have a roadmap for coming out of a once-in-a-century pandemic economically. Are you guys concerned about what would happen if you're wrong and it's not transitory and this ends up being an actual real problem in the weeks or months ahead when it comes to inflation?
Well, let me first say that our economic team watches this incredibly closely, including our Secretary of Treasury, who has an expansive background in watching inflation. And so we have confidence in both their assessments to date and also the fact that they will watch this as we continue to assess the state of our economy. I will say that, and the President will talk about this shortly, I should say, later this afternoon, that his view is that we've always believed that there would be ups and downs in our jobs reports. That is historically how it has gone. That there are a number of factors that contribute to it being a challenge for people to hire and people to rejoin the workforce. And there are steps we can take, and this is what he will talk about in his remarks as a government. We've obviously taken a number of those steps, including passing the American Rescue Plan, but there are a number of barriers to work. The biggest barriers we've seen: affordability of childcare, schools reopening, vaccinations is actually a huge factor. So when you dig into this data, which obviously we've done over the last couple of days, one interesting thing that struck the president as interesting is that the week of April 12th, which is the week that the data was compiled for the April jobs report was collected, at that point only 18% of 18 to 64-year-olds were fully vaccinated. And as of May 9th, it's risen to 34%. And the 7-day moving average of positive COVID cases was 40% higher in mid-April than May 8th. Last week when the data was compiled for next month. So all I'm conveying is there are a range of factors. He'll talk about announcements on state and local funding, how that will be distributed, which will help keep police, firefighters, and others on the job. He'll talk about delivering assistance to restaurants, which is where we've seen major